On the track, we're inching closer to the IPL season 15. And as we approach the big day, which is on Saturday, I thought we'd discuss an important topic, which is captaincy today. We've seen over the years how important captaincy has been in the IPL. Yes, you can say that each captain is as good as his team, but also, captaincy is something which is also very important in this kind of format where things go fast and, you have to keep up with the pace. Someone who's a mature captain, who's tactically astute, who can keep his calm under pressure is very, very important. And if you've seen over the years, it's not like there's been different winners in the IPL over the last 14 years. It's There's been Rohit Sharma 5 championships, MS Dhoni 4 championships. That's 9. And then you've had a few other captains in that. Gautam Gambhir has won twice as well. So there is a pattern there. You can say that yes, these guys have good teams, but it's also the captaincy. We've seen other teams as well have stacked squads, whether it was Delhi in the early years or Delhi now in recent times or RCB, they've had stacked squads, but they haven't won. That's not questioning directly like the captains, but it's there. It's there. You have to notice these kind of things, and I think it's a very important aspect in the IPL. Now, if you just look at history, the way IPL started, 2008. If you see the auction, you look at the Rajasthan team and you're like, what is this team? Who was the captain? Shane Warne. What did he do? Lift the title. Gave a career to the likes of Jadeja. Shane Watson's turned into a star, and Yusuf Pathan turned into a star. So, you can say that there's a bit of luck involved. There's, captain has to take gambles. He has to make calls, and if it pays off, it pays off. But Shane Warne did take those risks. He made them play like a team. It's also, it was a brand new concept. So, getting into that rhythm and making a team not just relying on individuals, but everyone contributing. That was something that Shane Warne did. But even after that, Adam Gilchrist winning in 2009, the way his bowling changes were, getting Rohit Sharma into bowl, Harmanpreet in that finals, getting him into bowl, is outstanding. Then you had that MS Dhoni phase, winning so many championships. You had Rohit Sharma winning so many championships. Dhoni, you could say he had players that he was more comfortable with, not necessarily the best players in the world. Like Albi Morkel was a really good player, but he wasn't the best all-rounder at that time, right? But he turned him into a champion. The way he used Kedar Jadhav, Shane Watson, all these players. In the past, Matthew Hayden, outstanding player. Mike Hussey, he was so consistent under Dhoni, and a lot of these kind of players flourished under Dhoni, and Dhoni's been an outstanding captain in the IPL, and even for India, we know that. Rohit Sharma, again, you can say Rohit Sharma had a stacked squad, but he was involved. Mumbai were failing as a team in the first 3 years of the IPL, right? But he got involved when they drafted him in as captain in the auctions. He was, demanding for certain types of players. It wasn't like they had the best team, but yes, they had a very strong team. But it's getting that team to play together. You can have a stacked team. Uh, RCB had Gale, they had ABD, they had Kohli, the best three in the peak form, and they still couldn't win a championship. So, Rohit Sharma had that knack of winning those big games. So Rohit Sharma is another captain. Then see David Warner. At that time, nobody gave his Sunrisers team a chance, but he came. He came all guns blazing in that 2016 season. Yes, he batted by him, he took responsibility with the bat, but also fielding changes, instilling that belief in his bowlers. Field placement's great, and it was a very good atmosphere that he created. So he won a championship with Gautam Gambhir getting drafted at the age of 29, winning 2 championships after that for KKR, and creating history for them. He was very aggressive. He supported his players. It wasn't just on the field, but off the field. After some particular loss or a win, he would go and individually speak to players. So this all impacts, and like I mentioned early on, there's limited guys who have won the IPL. It's not like every season you have a new captain. And yes, you need some luck. You need your team to perform, but also as a captain, you have to make decisions. You have to be tactically astute, and you have to handle nerves and be a good team man. You need to listen to people on and off the field as well. But then you make your own decision. It might pay off, it might not. But it's about staying alert and enjoying it as well. You have to enjoy it. I think Gautam Gambhir looks like a serious guy, but he enjoyed captaincy. David Warner never looked under pressure. Dhoni cool as ice. Rohit Sharma calm. Gilchrist, Shane Warne having fun all the time, whether they're captain or not. So captaincy is all about enjoying. Now, if you look at this season, we've had a change in captaincies for different franchises. Today it was announced that Dhoni is not captain anymore for CSK. Jadeja will lead. So I'll just list you the captains going into this season. RCB's captain is Faf du Plessis. CSK's is Ravindra Jadeja. Delhi Capitals is Rishabh Pant. KKR is Shreyas Iyer. Rajasthan Royals Sanju Samson. Mumbai Indians Rohit Sharma. Gujarat Titans Hardik Pandya. Lucknow Super Giants KL Rahul. Um, SRH is Kane Williamson, and Punjab is Mayank Agarwal. And yeah, if you look at some experienced captains, some very young captains, some experienced players but not experienced captains like Jadeja and Hardik Pandya. But yeah, I think it's going to be a test for each one of these will have different tests. Look, Faf du Plessis, he's very experienced. He has Virat Kohli under his wings. He has Glenn Maxwell, but he also has that pressure of RCB not winning a title. It's not his fault, but he will be stepping onto that field with the high expectations. Yes, his predecessors have not won a championship, but he will have that expectation. They got him in to win a championship. How does he handle that? He hasn't consistently captained in the IPL. If he was playing under Dhoni, has he learned from that? Will that benefit him? There are some holes in that middle order there. How does he fill the gaps with the ball? He has some really good bowlers like Mohammad Siraj, Hazelwood. How does he use them in the death overs? We've seen RCB leak runs. How does he minimize that? So that will be Faf du Plessis' challenge. Jadeja, his biggest challenge is living up to MS Dhoni's legacy, which is kind of impossible. But he'll have MS Dhoni there alongside him, and he can take tips in most games. There will be some games that Dhoni doesn't play, but Jadeja's played under him for so many years. He can learn from that. But Jadeja's never a captain, so his character as captain, will he have command over the team? Will he be able to make decisions under pressure situations? That will still be seen. But the advantage he has Dhoni alongside him, and Jadeja is a very smart cricketer. He can bat, he can bowl, he can field, so he understands the game and he's been playing it for a while. So he has that advantage. The only test will be is, has he been in that leadership role, right? I haven't seen him captain, so has he been able to, the team huddles, communicate with his players outside, the game time as well, talking to the players, whether it's in the hotel room or in the practice ground? That is a challenge for him. Delhi Capitals, Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant is blossoming into a great cricket player. He's still 24, very young, but yeah, he's, they reached the qualifiers in the last season. The season before, Shreyas Iyer was captain. So it's been a year since he's been full-time captain, Rishabh Pant. He will learn. I felt he made a few mistakes here and then. He also had an extremely strong squad last season. This squad won't be as strong. Yes, there's some great players there, but Warner and Mitchell Marsh will miss some of the tournament. How will he handle that? There'll be a bit more pressure on Rishabh Pant, and I'll be excited to see how he performs under pressure, and how his own performance is affected. And when things don't go right, yes, they made the playoffs last season, but if he loses first couple of games this season, if momentum is not with him, how does he react? That's what I want to see. KKR, Shreyas Iyer, new franchise, he'll be very excited because he didn't do anything wrong to lose that captaincy in Delhi Capitals. Again, he had a strong team like Rishabh Pant did last season, but he was also inexperienced, straight away taking over the reins after someone like Gautam Gambhir stepping down. So he had such a big pedigree, right, in IPL in terms of captaincy. So for Shreyas Iyer, that was a big challenge. Now he'll have that experience under his belt. He'll be excited. He'll want to prove people wrong, but also it's a fresh start for him. How does he change? This is a different franchise, so it'll be different values, different goals, different beliefs. How does he get that started quickly? How does he get that rhythm, chemistry going? It's going to be a bit different. Rishabh Pant still has that. The ownership is still the same. There's still a few players that have been retained. Iyer will be playing with a new crop, although some of them are his Indian teammates, but it's a new crop, so he'll have to adjust as well to that. And I'll be very excited to see how he does that. But I feel that Shreyas Iyer is someone that he hasn't done too much wrong. So I think he will only grow as a captain. And the main thing is informed right now. So he's informed, that will give him confidence. Rajasthan Royals, Sanju Samson, for him is the litmus test. I feel that he has a better team now. He had some great players. He was captaining the likes of Ben Stokes, Liam Livingston, Josh Butler. You name it. He had the creme de la creme, Jofra Archer as well. But Sanju Samson has not been proven to be a successful captain so far. Now he has an even more balanced squad. I feel that, last time you'd say a lot of the mantle was on Archer in terms of bowling, but now he has the bowlers, he has the batting. I will want to see Sanju Samson be a bit more tactically aware, especially in pressure situations, be a bit more involved, speak to his players. And I think it's a big test for him. If he doesn't perform this season, he might be sacked, going into the next season. So that's something that I want to see from Sanju Samson. Mumbai Indians, Rohit Sharma, you will say that, Bumrah doesn't have a bolt, and you say that, there's that middle order is not there, that beefed up middle order with Hardik Pandya, Kunal Pandya, then Pollard to company. Will Rohit Sharma have the same results? Rohit Sharma has won 5 championships. No matter what, he has won the championship. He's been a successful captain at IPL. He's held his nerve. There have been finals that I've seen. I remember the Pune Super Giants versus Mumbai Indians. That one, Mumbai was losing that final, but he kept his calm and they won that final. So he has that knack of winning, and I'm sure he'll make the most of his resources and again keep Mumbai in that top 4. If they don't win, there will be some questions asked, but he still has that pedigree, and Rohit Sharma is an astute captain. So yeah, let's see how that goes. Gujarat Titans, a very out of the box and exciting pick. It's Hardik Pandya. I've never seen him captain. I'll be very excited to see how he handles it, because Hardik Pandya is that lavish, bold kind of player. That guy who smashes it with the bat, picks up wickets, a bit aggressive as well. How will he captain? What is his style of captaincy? How will he communicate with his players? I'm going to be very intrigued to see what he does. How does he handle pressure as well? He's played under Rohit Sharma again, like Jadeja playing under Dhoni. Hardik Pandya has played under a successful captain. What does he learn from there? Will he translate that into the Gujarat Lions? He has, a match winner there already in Rashid Khan. He has a young batsman in Shubman Gill, who's India's future. He himself is an all-rounder. So, that team is built around that. There's gaps in that team. How does he plug those gaps? And again, if he's going to bowl as well, how does he handle all these aspects? Because he's going to be batting, bowling, fielding, and captaincy. That's one thing that I want to see. Moving on, Lucknow Super Giants, KL Rahul captain. He had a tough time with Punjab. Whether he performed with the bat, he didn't have pressure there, but you could see that pressure while he was batting, even in the field. Whether it was his other teammates, whether it was the match situation, whether it was the outside pressure, I don't know what it was, but KL Rahul did not look a happy captain in Punjab. Even for India, he lost that Test match against South Africa. You can't really blame him for that, but KL Rahul has not had a great start to captaincy, and it's been, I would say it's been a kind of a struggle for him as captain. Now I think his team is even better than the Punjab team, even though the Punjab team was good. He has a very strong middle order, so his batting approach also might change. And bowling wise, he has plenty of options. Yes, Mark Wood is not there, but he still has, Avesh Khan, Chamira is there. Then he has Ravi Bishnoi. Then he has all rounders, Kunal Pandya, Deepak Hooda. How does he use these utility players? Someone like a Dhoni would love this team. This Lucknow team, he would love it, because there's so many bowlers who can bat, batsmen who can bowl. Dhoni loves that, right? We've seen that in Chennai. So can KL Rahul capitalize? He has the team there, but can he utilize those resources? That's something that I want to see. Then moving on is Punjab Kings' new captain is Mayank Agarwal, replacing his best buddy KL Rahul as captain. I think Mayank's team is strong. How does Mayank lead? For Karnataka, I've seen him captaining a few times. He looks like a good captain. His biggest test will be, balancing those young players with the stars, because he has a great team. He has someone like an Arshdeep, but then he has a Rabada. He has, himself and Shikhar Dhawan. Then he has Liam Livingstone. He has Johnny Bairstow as well. So there's plenty of options there. The Shah Rukh Khan, there is Rishi Dhawan. There's plenty of options for Mayank Agarwal. Again, there's a few gaps in that lower middle order. Even the young Indian bowlers, if Rabada gets hit, or even if Rabada does bowl well, how do the other bowlers support? How will he rotate the other bowlers? That is something that I'll want to see from Mayank Agarwal. It'll be a test for him. But he is someone who will enjoy this, being captain of a franchise. Nothing like it, right? Like, I'm sure he'll enjoy the occasion. There's a lot of talk about Punjab having outside pressure and everything like that over the years. So that's something that we'll see. Can Mayank handle that? Will he change that? I felt that KL Rahul at times he got the captaincy correct, but they just lost out of nowhere, right? If Mayank can control that, because they had a strong team before, they have a strong team now. If Mayank can control those tough situations, like when they're winning and then lose a lead like that, if he can control that, I think Punjab will make the playoffs. It's very important to win your winnable matches. It's a different thing where you're losing and you suddenly make a comeback. But Punjab did the opposite. There were so many times where they were cruising and they lost a game. If they can avoid that, I think they have the squad to qualify. And that's where the captain needs to keep calm. He needs to make sensible decisions. And let's see if Mayank can do it. Then Sunrisers Hyderabad, Kane Williamson, the captain, cool, calm as a cucumber. It's a completely different challenge for him this time. Last time he had a Warner in 2018, actually, when he was captain for a full season. he did not have Warner, but he had, Rashid Khan there. He had Shikhar Dhawan. He had Manish Pandey. Last season when he was captaining, yes, Warner was outside, but he still had Johnny Bairstow. He had Rashid Khan, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who's still there. But he had plenty of players to look out for, experienced as well, who can help him in the field. But here it's going to be him, I think. Yes, Nicholas Puran does captain West Indies and can offer him advice. At that time, he had like so many other captains. He had Jason Holder there as well. So he doesn't have that. It's a young squad now. I think Kane Williamson would love this challenge. Whether they win or lose, I think he will enjoy this because it's a young team. He's an experienced guy. He's seen cricket. He's taken New Zealand to plenty of finals, and he will enjoy this. It's a different challenge. It's about an experience for them. They might not win plenty of matches, but it's about learning from those, right? And if they do win, then you have to credit Williamson, and you have to be positive because he's exciting talent, but it's a risk, right? When you're taking so many players who don't have that experience compared to like maybe a Mumbai or a Lucknow in terms of game time, right, for the players. It will be a risk, but it's an exciting risk. And I think Kane Williamson is that X factor. If he can stay fit, I know there's a tennis elbow problem, but if he can stay fit throughout the tournament and play most of the games or all the games, then I think it'll be an exciting prospect. How he leads this side, how he makes the bowling changes, because he's a great captain. I've seen Williamson international, even for Sunrisers, he's taken them to the finals in 2018. So he's a great captain, calm as a cucumber, and I think this is a very exciting project for him. Young players, it's kind of a win-win, right? Like if you lose, it's always a learning curve because this team in 2-3 years time will be much more experienced and will learn from this season. But if they do win, then Williamson gets that credit, and also he does have some match winners in that team. You have experienced players like Apuran, Markram is experienced as well. Bhuvneshwar Kumar is experienced, Natarajan has experience. So you do have experience there, but it's balanced with a very, very young core in Abhishek Sharma, Abdul Samad, Umran Malik, Karthik Tyagi. There's plenty of youngsters there as well. So I'm very excited to see how Kane Williamson leads the side. Kane Williamson leads the side. But yeah, I think we've gone through each captain. It's going to be a very, very exciting time. I feel that in the IPL, captaincy is important. Yes, like I mentioned, there's a lot of factors that have to go your way as well to be a successful captain. But because of the few crop of successful IPL captains so far, it shows that you need to be good to lift that trophy. And let's see what happens on the 29th of May when the final does take center stage. But until then, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel and enjoy the IPL. It's going to be a great tournament, 10-man team. 10-team tournament, and it's going to be challenging because it's going to be a bit longer. So the captains will have to take that into consideration. If they get injured themselves, then their vice captains, how do they communicate with them, and how do they plan and plot for the future games ahead? That will be something to consider as well. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the latest content from the IPL and from the cricket world. Thank you so much for joining me.